Earlier tonight, I spoke with attorney Gloria Allred for our political show, The Issue Is. She represented the late Norma McCorvey for more than 30 years. McCorvey was Jane Roe, whose lawsuit resulted in the Supreme Court's 1973 decision to protect abortion rights. Allred talked about potential laws in more than 24 states that would ban abortion.
Some of these laws are so cruel. They even force a rape victim, a victim who has been raped by her father, for example, which is also incest, a crime, and force that child, 12 years old, 13-year-old, 14-year-old, to take a pregnancy to term and deliver a child that is the child of the rapist. It really doesn't get much crueler than that, unless you want to also say it is so cruel and dangerous, because some of these laws in some of these states, Alex, also will not allow exceptions for the life of the mother, even if the woman's life is in danger.
Allred says other people's religious beliefs should not be imposed on all women. Allred told me the leak of the Supreme Court's legal opinion triggered her own personal trauma from being raped and then having to have an illegal abortion before Roe was legal.
It brought back all of my memories of being raped at gunpoint in Mexico when I was on vacation in my 20s, and that was in the 1960s. And coming back to California, finding out that I'm pregnant at that time in California in the 60s, it was a crime for a doctor or nurse to provide an abortion. People who would provide abortions if you paid them, that's what I did. And I was left by the man who did it in a bathtub, hemorrhaging, having the bathtub fill up with my own blood, ultimately developing 106-degree fever from an infection from that abortion that he did illegally. And I couldn't get help. An ambulance ultimately was called, and that's where a nurse said to me, she was obviously anti-choice, "I hope you learned a lesson." And well, of course I did learn a lesson, but it wasn't the lesson she wanted me to learn. It was the lesson that abortion must be legal, it must be safe, it must be affordable, and all women must have access to abortion.
Allred says her personal experience is what gave birth to her passion to make sure that no other woman suffers how she suffered. You know, and Gloria has told that story on our show a few years ago, and it seemed like ancient history, but now she would point out this could be a reality for people, millions of people in this country.
And the documentary on her life story is really something that goes much more in depth on that.
Yeah, that's called Seeing Allred, which is on Netflix. You have a lot more from Gloria on our political show, The Issue Is, tomorrow night. We also talk with CDC Director Rochelle Walensky here in California this week, and Congressman Adam Schiff about his meeting with President Volodymyr Zelensky in Ukraine. All that tomorrow night at 10:30 right here on Fox 11.